Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let me help you, a loved one or friend, find your vegan soul through food, people, events, and culture. And talking about events, I was invited earlier this week, Tuesday, as a matter of fact, to a woman in hospitality conference that was put on by the Delaware Restaurant Association. And if none of you know, I am the chair of the Maryland Restaurant Association, and we hosted a Women of Hospitality event last year, and the executive director um, saw me speak on a panel and invited me out to the Delaware conference, the Women of Hospitality conference in Delaware, and the topic of discussion on this panel was disruptive leadership, cutting through the BS to get things done, pushing boundaries, questioning outdated norms, and creating impactful change within your organization. And if anyone knows me, I am the marketing director of the Land of Kush, celebrating 14 years in January. So that's a major blessing with many restaurants closing during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and having to be a vegan restaurant more impacted than many other restaurants. It is a blessing that Land of Kush is still open and continue to support vegan restaurants. A shout out to Kaju Creamery. They've been getting support in Baltimore after their announcement of potentially having to close their location, which is literally steps away from where we are in Baltimore. They're located on North Howard Street. So all that to say, this conference opened up my eyes. I was on the panel with Delaware State Senator Nicole Poore, Martha Hoover, founder of Won't Stop Hospitality. She's been in the game for decades. And Gen Z, Katie Cutler of Cafe Karma. And she moderated the discussion. But before the day started, I actually got to watch a panel discussion on raising the stakes on our leadership journey as women. And I'm not going to get into my thoughts about what happened with the election. This is not the platform where I want to get into politics and talk about all that type of stuff. But just to let you know and be transparent, I did vote for Kamala Harris, the Vice President Kamala Harris, the woman of color. So I don't know what the future holds with the newest administration that is coming in. When I think about it, I meditate on how it's going to impact me with my family, my daughter. So of course, those are my business. The nonprofit Black Veg Society, and just taking one day, 1 week, 1 month at a time. Some of the things that were talked about at the conference that I think would be helpful to women and empowerment. I met a woman, Erica Carr, who is the VP of Multicultural Food Service and Hospitality. She had no background in food service, but she took risks in a leap of faith and got hired for a position in Texas where she had to, do some type of sales function and travel the back roads of Texas. So anyone that knows about Texas, just envision what Erica Carr had to go through. But she took a risk, she took a leap of faith, and she's very successful to this day because of that. So I made a strong connection with Erica. So shout out, pleasure meeting you, Erica. You really impressed upon me in your panel discussion. Martha Hoover was also up there, the founder of Won't Stop Hospitality. She talked about aging and relevance, this thing about when women become 50, 60, 70, 80, we lose our relevance. And she touched upon her not even reaching her highest level achievement, being in close to her mid 70s, which was really impressive, because as women, when we think we're middle age, we think like, we're all shriveled up and worn out and we can't do anything. And that is not true. You are just getting into really knowing yourself and who you are and, what you're about. So keep on keeping on. Aging and relevance, you were young at that time, and the girls that are doing whatever they're doing right now in their 20s and 30s, been there, done that. We are on a whole nother playing field. We understand our purpose, or should understand our purpose more, and are after different things. So we are still relevant. So we should all be working intergenerationally and learning from each other. Each one teach one and lift a sister up. So I don't care how old you are, you're still relevant. Make it happen, boo boo. Then there was a woman, Chrissy Raviak, director of athletics at the University of Delaware. She talked about breaking down barriers in sports. So this is a big thing. So if you think of the WNBA and whatever sports you're into, I'm not into sports, so I'm not a big sports person. But when I hear about a woman being a director of athletics and, the best, if not one of the best in her game, breaking down barriers in sport, making a way when there's no way, and not accepting no, and not being intimidated by the big boys. That's very, very impressive. So shout out to you, Chrissy. Erica mentioned, Erica Carr, the VP of Multicultural Food Service and Hospitality Alliance, mentioned that as women, we need to define our own success and not to compare. There's a lot of comparison that's done between women, and basically, whatever it is, the level of success or what they have, or, clothes, a car, or whatever. We should not be defining ourselves by someone else's success. Your success is your personal journey with your universe and your God, and you need to be focusing on where you need to go, not in comparison with someone else. And that's very important, and not caring about what other people think. So Erica was on stage with nice suit, two-piece suit, and she had a pair of really nice what is it, the dunks, the Air Force dunks, the high top ones. And she could care less, because she was looking good up on the stage. And that's what we're saying. If you're comfortable in it and you're comfortable in your skin, don't care about what other people think. I think about things that Gary Vee says, a man, he's always talking about who gives a F what somebody thinks. What do you think? Okay, are you creating your narrative by someone else's thoughts, or are you creating your narrative by the way you feel as an individual and what makes you happy? So care less about what other people think. Chrissy Ravik, the director of athletics, talked about having coaches, executive coaches. Now, I can talk to you about my journey last year, when I secured a personal coach just to work through some personal issues that I was having with myself. That were making me emotional, whether it was stemming from whatever happened last year. I transitioned from the personal coach and moved into a business coach earlier this year. And now I'm working with a holistic marketing coach. So if you feel you need a coach, a mentor, you should have one, because you should always be, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you're not leveling up. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want a smart room with a bunch of smart people, and then you learn from them. So having coaches, executive coaches, is very essential when you're trying to propel and move up in your career or your business or whatever it is you're trying to do. So don't shy away from the fact that you need a coach, personal coach, executive coach, fitness coach. I got a fitness coach too. So, embrace that. Martha talked about being able to take time off. So right now I'm trying to take time off. We had a small tasting event, Taste of Vegan Soul event in September. And then I told myself that I was going to take, was it September, October? I forgot. I was going to take the rest of the year off because you have to rest and recharge. Very important. You cannot serve anyone or maintain your health, be it mental, physical, spiritual, if you are depleting yourself entirely. So you have to rest and recharge. And this is usually the time of year where a lot of uh, life coaches, eating coaches, they start marketing their rest and recharge packages. So, be on the lookout for that. Rest and recharge. Intergenerational communication. Make sure you're communicating with people that are older than you, younger than you, middle age. Keep that communication open, and listen to your children. I learned a lot from my 12-year-old daughter. She's going to be 13 in January. So much. Young people can challenge you, and this is something that Martha talked about at the conference. They will challenge you. So they're so technology driven. We didn't have the luxury at that time, at their age, where they're dealing with the smartphones and they know how to work it. And as we've grown older, we've gotten more intimidated intimidated with using these technology. I mean, I've always been around technology since my late teens. So it's never been an intimidation for me. I actually used to pressure my mom when I was in my 20s and let her know, like, hey, look, you need to get yourself a personal computer or a laptop, because if you don't learn this stuff now, you're going to be left behind in the future. Now she can't live without her Fire tablet or laptop. Like, she is so into it, and I'm so proud of her for that. So let young people challenge you. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you know everything. The kids are really smart and bold these days. The secret sauce is you, and this is a message coming from me. People can do similar things that you do, whatever it is, a project, or if it's food, whatever it is, but you are the secret sauce. Nobody can do exactly what you do. Nobody. So be bold, be brave, step out on faith, use your power of intuition. Us as women have intuition. If you don't know it, you have it, grow it, strengthen it, make it stronger through spirituality. It's amazing. We as women, we are amazing. Let me just put this up again. Being disruptive, is that a good word or a bad word for you? When I was on the panel talking about being a disruptor, the first thing that you're going to think is like, okay, is this a bad thing? I don't feel I'm disruptive. I'm like, am I getting on people's nerves? Am I like, no. We're just making ways when there's no ways. Okay. I talk about this all the time when I tell my background story, and I try not to get emotional about it, but it's important to share because my background comes from being in a New York City housing project in the Bronx. And my mom, didn't want me to just be exposed to that life. So she would send me to this camp, Fresh Air Fund camp, where they would send the kids out to the country and rural areas to have different exposure. So just imagine, take this 6-year-old that's going every summer for 2 weeks out to, these areas where they don't have the same exposure or privilege that they may have living in the New York City housing project, being exposed to concrete and tall buildings and just a lot of people every day. I would come home hollering and screaming. I didn't want to be I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be back where, around people that were self-employed. They had big houses, they had their own pools, their kids were just, doing what they wanted to freely. So that was instilled in me from ages 6. So it's no surprise that at this age, I'm going to be 53 in February, that I'm going to want, things a certain way, and I want to do certain things, and I want to have certain levels of freedom. And my daughter has no clue of what my upbringing was and how I had to live, because she is not even exposed to any of that. She's like so privileged. She has a dad that, makes breakfast and lunch and dinner for her. Like, we didn't have that. My dad, passed away at 2. And then when my mom remarried, by the age 6 or 7, that, relationship was done. So my daughter will never know what it is to not have a dad. It's like, she's always had her dad. So it's a different type of experience and a relationship for my daughter. One of the things at this conference that was so impressed upon me is this woman, Jenny Just. And some people don't know this about me. I was a casino gamer in my early 20s. I'm big time. I'm talking about blackjack, baccarat, craps. Not just going to the casino to play slots. I like the slots, but I was really big into the casino games. Poker has always been an intimidating game, and I'm not talking about poker on the slots. I'm talking about poker at the table. So it was very interesting that they had this woman, Jenny Just, who is a self-made billionaire that you probably haven't heard of her, but she started out as an options trader in Chicago. So just to hear her story about how, she, went from where she was as an option trader and in technology and fintech, and, her companies supporting the backbones of financial tools like Webull and Alloy. I mean, it's just incredible. She talked about flipping the odds, harnessing poker tactics to master life skills. So this was a session that I attended, and I can tell you that it opened my eyes. Her motto was taking more risks to learn quicker, which is true. When you take more risks, you learn quicker. You have, if anyone understands the stock market, higher highs, lower lows, and then you're able to cope with those challenges that are greater than the previous one. She also mentioned you can't change the game if you are not in it. So important. So we can sit on the sidelines and we can talk this and talk that, but you can't do anything. You can't change anything, and you can't impact anything if you are not in it. And when you're in it, you got to be in it to win it, right? So she has this poker tactics class that she teaches women, and you can use these skills to master in life. So look up Jenny Just, co-founder of Peak Six and founder of Poker Power, because she had me playing poker really good, like, and beating the men, because poker is a men's game. If you think about it, like most men are playing poker and they're dominating that industry. Jenny Just was a woman that she had 4 brothers, so she grew up around men, and this was just the environment and experience that she was in. And she was exposed to a lot, and then she learned a lot from it. So I was very impressed with meeting her and learning her story and learning more about poker. Now I'm like on my my cell phone playing the poker game and using the tactics that I learned and winning And now I want to apply that to, the negotiation tables and see how effective that is for me. Lots and lots and lots of fun. Hey, Ma, you listening to me? Hey, my mom is listening in. Peace and blessings. I'm just here, yapping, telling folks about my experience earlier this week. Looking forward to seeing you soon. In the next week or so. So love you too. Yeah, that's my mom, Nabby Fred Figueroa. Yes, it is true. Hopefully what I'm saying and sharing with everyone. So I just wanted to come on here and just share that we as women have birthed this nation, and this is something that I talked about in my panel discussion. We birthed this nation. The nation owes us a certain level of respect. And as Black women, we really birthed this nation when we breastfed and pushed our children to the side and breastfed other people's children. So the fact of the matter, this level of disrespect that you have for Black women, it just needs to end. It needs to stop. Okay. If Black women were to boycott right now, today, every Black woman that's working or out there, whatever, I would love to see the state of the nation if there was a Black woman boycott, because we play a lot of the supportive roles in companies, in the household, and we are demanding respect at this point. Maybe that's a disruptive statement. Anyway, when I was introducing myself on the panel, I made a statement. Hey, what's going on, ETEF? I see you out there. Yeah, you gotta respect the Black woman. This thing, and like I said, I'm not gonna get into what my thoughts were about what happened with the election or what people think. This country has shown its level of disrespect for women, and especially for Black women, and it has to end. I'm going to continue to do what I do and be me, uplift women, and Black women, Latino women, and be intergenerational, respect our children and respect our elders and learn from them both ways. And you will see this through upcoming events and initiatives that we have in place through Black Bed Society. So thank you for tuning in. Let me put my little plug in. Thank you for tuning in to Naja Speaks. You can follow me at Naja Speaks _vegan soul on Instagram, or go to najaspeaks.com to see some of the past interviews. Naja Speaks is a project of the Black Bed Society, where we're meeting you where you are on your vegan, plant-based, and holistic health journey, and we need your support. It's Thanksgiving is next week. We appreciate any support that you can provide Black Bed Society by going to blackbedsociety.org. No donation is small at all. We use the money, if it's advertising or, just to buy a meal for someone or to fund the events that we have. Every dollar goes to you. So we appreciate your support at blackbedsociety.org. So some of the things I talked about when I introduced myself, I just said who I was, and I said, I'm marketing director of the Land of Kush, multi-award winning Vegan Soul Bistro in Baltimore, going on 14 years, and executive director and founder of Black Bed Society. And I didn't even need to go into elaborate about Disruptor, because that's the disruptor right there. A vegan soul food restaurant in Baltimore City. Like, what are you talking about? But we are celebrating 14 years in January. And then to have a Black Bed Society, of course, people's comfortability on the word Black, we need to get comfortable. It's a color. And if you take all the colors in the rainbow, what are you going to get? You're going to get some rendition of Black, off Black, soft Black, or whatever Black you want to call it. So get comfortable with the word Black. It's not a bad word. Okay, it's not what people have educated you to think, that Black is bad. Okay, I love wearing Black and having Black and all that other stuff. Blackity Black, unapologetically. So, and If you want to say that's a disruptor, then then that's a disruptor. But I, if anyone knows me, I think I'm a fair, nice person. I'm an empath. People that know me, I'm an empath. I might get too, into other people's emotions and, what they're going through, and having to learn to set boundaries, which, I'm doing, because I've learned that through my personal coaching that I took last year. So, applying those things that I've learned. And, sometimes with empaths, people can take advantage of you, or they will take advantage of you because they know you're nice. So, don't stop being who you are. Just set those boundaries and understand that, you have to take care of you first before you take care of anybody else. Because if you're not well mentally, physically, spiritually, like I said earlier, you're not going to be able to help anybody. And I've helped a lot of people, and they know it. They can call me all types of names or say whatever they want about me. But I've helped a lot of people, and I wish I could help everybody, but I'm just one person. But trust and believe, if I'm in position financially and resourcefully to help everybody, that is what I am going to do. Okay. And I congratulate, don't hate, congratulate people. There's no reason to hate. We're all here to win. You were put on this earth to win. That is your birthright, and to be your authentic, greatest self. And on that note, that is what I wanted to share with you. I hope you take this, and thanks, Ma. That is the point of life. You're living life to be happy for you, not for somebody else. And if the somebody else is not happy with you, then guess what? You gotta cut it off. You gotta know what your exit plan is. You have to cut it off. So each one teach one. We're going to lift our sisters up. We're going to be empowering women and disruptive, with the understanding disruptive doesn't have to be a bad word or feel like a bad thing, like you just got to do something bad. If you're not getting seats at the table, if you're not given a seat at the table, make your own table. So you have the seats. You have the right to do that. And on that note, look, I want everyone to stay well, stay blessed. If you want to reach out to me again, please follow me on Instagram at Naja Speaks _vegan soul, or Naja Speaks on Facebook. Hey, subscribe to najaspeaks.com. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If I reach that, I'm going to probably raffle off the first 1,000 subscribers and send them a prize. So some way to get to that 1,000. And who knows what that prize is going to be, but it's going to be a prize. I'm going to take the 1,000 subscribers and put them in a raffle bag and reach out to the winner. So, hey, looking to reach 1,000 subscribers, help me do that. Whatever you do this weekend, Thanksgiving week, please stay well, stay blessed, and be empowered, be disruptive. And on that note, I'm going to leave you with this. See if you understand that. Shout out to Dr. Tunes. This was a mural that he painted up for the second location of the Land of Kush, which is not going to happen, everyone. Sorry, it's not going to happen. I'll be the first to officially announce the second location of the Land of Kush is not going to happen due to a number of reasons that you can imagine, dealing with finances and the economy and just limited resources. But Doc Tunes put this mural up in the restaurant, and it is going to be painted over. He spent about 2+ some odd weeks putting this together, and look what he put on there. It is a picture of a powerful Black woman. So I just want to end the show today with that mural in front of you. Shout out to Dr. Tunes. Stay well. Stay blessed. Thank you, Ma. You have uplifted me since you were born. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my mom was definitely a perfect example of listening to her children, but that's a whole nother show. Thank you, Mom. Gorgeous painting. Again, shout out to Dr. Tunes. Thank you. When nothing else was, Sambo was. So Peace out.
Meeting you where you are. The meaning behind the slogan is that we meet the community where they are on their journey towards holistic health, a plant-based lifestyle, and veganism, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. We do this through people, food, events, and culture. Our 6 pillars are earth, eating, education, empowerment, enlightenment, and events. We are Black Veg Society.